If you're thinking of buying the Reloop RMX or RMX-95 mixer, which is even higher, maybe it's the replacement for, I'm not sure about that, than the RMX-90, which we've looked at before, then this is for you. This is the RMX-95, and in this short film, we're going to look at the feature set, what it's got, what it's for, who it's for, and what it's not got, and how it compares to the industry leader, which of course is the Pioneer DJ DJM-900 Nexus 2, or now the DJM-900, the DJM-A9, which is the replacement for the 900 Nexus 2. It's a club style mixer, right? It's designed to be used in nightclubs, and that's why it's got this kind of look and feel. So while it might not be in A-list nightclubs, you might see this in smaller venues, you might want this at home to give you that nightclub kind of feel. And as you can see, I've got it set up here with a couple of controller decks, because I think this is probably best as a software mixer with one big proviso, which we'll get to. So let's take a look at the features of this before we go any further. So club style mixer, the classic shape, classic build, it's all metal, same height as club style DJ gear, 4 channels with a filter here, 3-band EQ, and your gain at the top, and your switch for all the different inputs, which we'll look at in a minute. Then you've got your microphone channel down here, you've got your cue and your headphone controls down here. Here we've got our effects with our screen for displaying what's going on. We've got our main VU meters up here. Everything's, and the level and booth outputs are around here. So everything's exactly where you would expect to find it on a club mixer. Around the front, we've just got headphones inputs. That's it, just a headphone socket for the 1/8 inch and the 1/4 inches here. Meanwhile, around the back of the unit, again, it's all going to look extremely familiar to anyone who's ever seen this kind of mixer before. We've got our inputs for the 4 channels. You get 2 line inputs for channel 1, a line and a phono for channel 2 with an earth, a line and a phono for channel 3 with an earth, and a line, 2 lines for channel 4. Then our outputs, we've got master and record and booth outputs with a mixture of XLRs, TRS, and our standard RCA sockets. We also have 2 computer inputs for easy DJ switchovers, and nicely we've got 2 USB inputs as well for plugging in extra gear. And as you can see here, I've got 2 Denon DJ LC6000 control decks plugged into those. It's a really simple setup. If you want to DJ with just your normal decks or with analog sources, you get all the effects and all that stuff. But if you want to DJ with software, really, really simple. You plug your controllers, controller decks in this instance, into the back of the unit, and then you have one wire from the back of the unit into your computer for the software, and then you have an audio out and a power in. That's it. So it works really well in that way. So it's also a MIDI compatible mixer. All the controllers can be MIDI mapped to your DJ software of choice, and as we're going to see in a minute, that's what they've taken advantage of with Algoriddim's DJ Pro AI, the software that it is designed for. 10 in, 10 out, 24-bit audio, which sounds great to us. So a lot going on in here. So what's different then to the RMX-90? Well, one of the big differences is that they've kind of improved the effects. So there's a lot of effects in here. You can see on the little screen at the top here as I quickly go through them. We've got echo, reverb, flanger, phaser, vinyl break, loop roll, noise, pitch shift, delay, ping pong, tape delay, bit crusher, transformer. So lots of effects to choose from there. The standard effects routing, so that we can decide whether they go onto either a chosen channel or the left or right hand side of the crossfader, or to microphone, or to the master. Then we have a time adjust, but we also have the beats adjust buttons for the cycling of these effects, and a level depth knob and an on-off. This is all very standard. One thing that isn't standard is that there is a effects frequency down here. Now this is a little bit different to the frequency effects that you find on, say, Pioneer mixers, where you can choose whether you want the low, mid or high to be affected, if you like. This just says, okay, the affected sound, it applies a tone control to it, so you can make the affected sound bassier or more trebly. It could be useful, for instance, if you're using an echo out and you don't want bass in the echo out, but don't confuse it with the way the Pioneer button works. It's not quite as sophisticated as that. So on the filters, we've got a filter resonance, so this makes the filter sound more or less filtery. Actually, let's just demo that for you. Here's the filter. Now, if you want to take that kind of filtery whoosh out of it, you can turn that down. Or put it all the way in. You can see it sounds a lot more, in my terminology, filtery, right? So So yeah, it's cool to have a filter resonance control on the unit, that's for certain. So this is a unit that has been marketed as working with Algoriddim's DJ Pro AI software, and that's what I'm using with it now to play music through, and it works fine with that. You plug it in, it notices it instantly. You can then start MIDI mapping the controls, and one other thing they've done is give you the option to have Algoriddim's neural mix, which is their version of stems, mapped to the controls on the mixer, so you can control without doing any mapping of your own the mixer, the neural stems in the software with the mixer controls, which is really nice. You know, this is one of the big advantages of this mixer, I think, if you're an Algoriddim DJ Pro AI user and you want a really cost-effective club-style DJ setup. You can buy 2 of these Denon DJ LC6000 controllers, which also work fine with Algoriddim's DJ Pro AI. Just plug them in and it'll work, as I explained a minute ago. And this mixer, and that's going to cost you what, $2,400 euros? You're getting really a full pro DJ setup, full size, pro quality in every respect for the cost of one CDJ, right? One Pioneer CDJ. And that is where the value is in this kind of setup. So we like it. One of the things I need to point out to you though is that this does not, as far as I can tell or figure out, work with Serato DJ Pro like the RMX-95 DVS did. Either the previous one or the sister mixer. I'm not sure whether it replaces it or not. So if you want to use it with Serato, as far as I can tell, you can't at the moment. If that changes, take a look in the written part of this and I will update you there. I have asked Reloop, but I haven't heard back from them at the moment as to whether that's coming. But it doesn't activate Serato on my system anyway. It activates DJ Pro AI fine. So if you want to use it with Serato, definitely check whether they've got that working before you go and shell out the cash for it. But overall, really great value mixer. It's got MIDI, it's got 4 channels, it's got loads and loads of inputs around the back, so you can plug all kinds of stuff into it. The effects have been improved, which is great. There's a lot of stuff you can customize on this little screen here. So for instance, let's just have a look. If I hold down these 2 buttons here, that will go into the customization mode. And then on this little screen here, you see we can turn the master from stereo to mono if we want. We can adjust the USB out channel. We can adjust the auxiliary gain. We can adjust the pan. So you've got your left and right controls here for the overall output. We can adjust the Q set. We've got talk over for the microphone. We can adjust where the ISO switches over on the EQs. So in other words, where the low, mid and high kick in. So you can have that set to your liking. You can set the microphone on or off in the booth to help out with feedback and stuff like that. You can have the booth source chosen as the master output or something else if you want. You can turn MIDI on or off in here and do various other bits and pieces as well. And yes, there is a way of switching the EQs. I forgot to tell you about this. A way of switching the EQs between standard, where they don't fully turn down when you turn them all the way down, and what they call isolator or ISO, which is when they completely kill the whole track. So if I'm in ISO mode, which I can switch down here, or kill mode, and I play a track, that'll absolutely kill it, completely kill the track. But if I'm in classic mode, you'll still hear the track a little bit. Probably the best mode for DJing with electronic music and techno and so on is to have that in isolator mode and to have it in classic mode if you're doing more open format style DJing. So that's the Reloop RMX-95. It is fully reviewed on Digital DJ Tips. Take a look at the written review as well, but it's in stores now. I think it's about 900 euros, about 1,000-ish dollars over there stateside. So around that kind of price. So you're looking at 2 or 3 times cheaper than an equivalent all singing, all dancing mixer from the biggest names on the market. An intriguing and interesting little mixer. If you've enjoyed this review, then please do subscribe to Digital DJ Tips, the website. Forget the YouTube channel, we don't care about that. Subscribe to the website. Come to digitaldjtips.com. We'll give you a copy of Rock the Dance Floor, our book on DJing and the Amazon bestseller, just to say thank you for subscribing. But more importantly, you'll receive our weekly Tuesday tips email, which is the best way for hobby DJs to improve, because it's packed full with free tuition, reviews, features and so on from all of our tutors, including people like Jazzy Jeff and James Hype. You don't get that anywhere else. So come and subscribe. digitaldjtips.com/join. Meanwhile, from me, Phil, here in the Digital DJ Tips studio, get good, get out there, make the moments, and we'll see you again very soon.